Hello everyone and welcome to the game that took me to the 1500s. I love this game. It's if not my favorite, one of my favorite games. And is that because it's very interesting. We are attacking, very aggressively, both of us, but actually at the same time very calculated. So we are not just blundering pieces and making silly mistakes. So without further ado, let's crack on. Okay, there you go. My opponent is an e4 player, and so I go ahead and I push d5 with the Scandinavian defense. I like this one because basically it forces the issue straight away. So the opponent already needs to make a decision. Does he want to take? Does he want to push? Does he want to do something else? My opponent does the right thing, which is taking. I give temporarily away the pawn, and instead I want to achieve equal development. He goes ahead, knight to c3. I take, he takes, and develop the queen. So then he goes and develop the knight. I develop the bishop into f5. He pushes the pawn into d3. Interesting choice, blocking the bishop. It's not my opponent has a very bad position or anything, but just interesting choice in there. I develop the knight ready to castle. He develops quietly the dark bishop. I castle, and then he again develops quietly the light square bishop. You can notice that my opponent hasn't got any presence on the center. And so I decide to take this opportunity as the center is for grabs and push my pawn to start controlling, this square and this square in here. He goes and castle. I want to solidify the center. And then my opponent obviously makes the move to start attacking when the king has castle on my side. And he's obviously trying to push this. I go ahead and do the same on my side. I say, okay, I'm going to start my attack as well. Now, note that this move, I'm not sure what he was trying to do. I think it's a mistake because I think he's trying to move c4 to kick away my queen. Now, he could have done here as well, because it's not like I'm going to take the pawn, because then he takes, and I've given away my queen. So I'm forced to move the queen anyway. So I think he lost a move in there. So I keep going with my attack. And then now he kicks away my queen. Basically, I was thinking where I can move my queen. I was thinking I don't want to move my queen into here, because then I block the bishop from retreating if it gets attacked. But also, I just think it's important so I can then keep pushing the pawns later on. And I also think my bishop might be better defending on this side, as he's obviously going to attack. So I decide then, okay, do I need to move to f7 or g8? Which one is better? And I thought simply that x-raying the king was the better option, so that's what I do. He goes again and pushes the pawn. Notice that he has pushed the pawn twice. He could have done it here. I'm trying to improve, instead of just when I attack, just throw everything, actually make it a little bit more calculated. And so in the past, what I would have done in here is push the pawn and say, hey, I'm attacking your knight. But obviously I would not have seen that I'm giving away the h4 square, which attacks my bishop. And don't get me wrong, it's not a bad move, because I can then take, he takes, and and I have taken this pawn in here. But I did wanted to keep my bishop. And the other thing is when his knight goes in here, actually blocks. I cannot move this pawn forward, so it kind of blocks my attack. So I didn't like that. So instead, I did the quiet move of, okay, I'm going to push h4. And so now when I push this, now you don't have this square and this square or this square or this square. So you gotta have to retreat, which is exactly what I wanted. So yeah, trying to make moves that are a bit more calculated than I would have a few months back. He moved the bishop into here. What I thought in the game is that he's trying to enable pushing d4. Because I thought when he pushes d4, if I take, he takes, I take, and then he can take the pawn at the base of my pawn chain, and he's forking the rook, which I didn't. What I miscalculated in the game is that obviously once that happens, I have the rook take, so he wouldn't have wanted to do that. But I think anyway that's what he wanted to do. Again, this is what I wanted to do, so I make him to move the knight away in a square that is just not doing anything. I think the only thing he can do is just try to reroute the knight. In the past, again, what I would do in here, I would just try to attack. I would not have thought I would have pushed that, but actually in the game I was thinking if I push that, then he takes, I take, then he puts that, and then I've got basically at the end of that I've got a pawn into here and his pawn is in here, but actually my attack is no more. There's nothing in there I can do. So, and the same if I do that, he just pushes, and then I've got 2 pawns in here, but I cannot do anything. So, so then I thought, okay, I'm gonna do the quiet move of retreating my bishop, and now then I can push that, and when there is 3 pawns in here, it's a lot more difficult to stop that. He goes ahead and then obviously kicks away my knight, and I put it into d4, and he goes an exchange, which I am happy with. In here, I was thinking, do I take with the pawn or do I take with the rook? If I take with the rook, I put pressure on this backward pawn. But then I thought I'm just gonna give him the chance of attacking my rook, and actually I'm helping him reroute the knight, and then I need to put back my rook. So I thought the pawn might be the better option. He comes with the queen very aggressively. I said, okay, fine, I'll just move my king away. He goes and try to reroute the knight, and in here I paused. I can't remember exactly how much I paused for, but maybe a couple of minutes trying to think why is he doing that, what's he gonna try to do to attack my king. And so what I was thinking is he's gonna come to here and then give me a check either here or here to give away the knight for this pawn, but actually opened the file to attack me. And you know what, that's what I love about this game. I, instead of just panicking and trying to react to that, I thought, fine, what's the problem? I just go to one of these sides, and actually I'm very happy because I've got the light square bishop that I did not want to do earlier, to cover the the wicks, these 2 weak squares in here, but also at some point I would like to put my bishop in here and then back into here and covering this check. So I thought, you know what, I think I'm fine. I might be miscalculating, but I think I'm fine. In preparation to kind of block the check, I put the bishop into here, because it will take me 2 moves to do that, and then to move into here. He goes and do that, what I was thinking he would do, but instead of taking, I didn't think that was going to do anything. I wanted him to take, and yes, I'm more than happy to take your knight. So then what I do is just keep pushing my attack. He goes ahead, exactly what I thought. I take, he takes. What I'm thinking, again, here I might be thinking for another minute or so. I thought, okay, so he's gonna give me a check with one of these rooks. I'm gonna block. Now the problem is that once I block that, he can push the pawn and I cannot take, obviously, because he's giving me a check, and so he's gonna be able to take my my bishop. So what I thought in here, I'm gonna go with the queen, and so once I'm here, if he pushes he pushes the pawn, then I take it, right? So that was my thought process. He goes ahead and give me a check, and I block it as I was planning for. In here, I think he's obviously trying to do checkmate in here, but that's exactly why I wanted to save the light square bishop, to say, hey, where are you going? You need to go. So so yeah, I was just quite happy. I was kind of anticipating most moves, and actually this might look a very dangerous position, but in reality I was quite comfortable with what was happening. Then I keep pushing my pawns to attack. In here, he now can push the pawn, because obviously I cannot take it with the queen, because if he takes I cannot take back. Again, my king is being checked. It's been x-rayed by the rook, so I cannot do that. So what I do in here is, okay, I attack your bishop. In hindsight, a much better move in here would have been just put the rook into here, and so, okay, if you want to take, I'll take your queen. I did not see that, and I attack the bishop. He goes and take. I took with the a pawn. So in this position, from an engine analysis and what I thought in the game as well, similar. I was thinking, okay, I'm winning, but with the engine analysis, it's even more clear. So here, I'm winning. Now, this is a very dangerous position if you miscalculate, right? So if my opponent goes to, let's say, a5, and I just go ahead and say, oh, a free bishop, and I take the bishop, then this is checkmate very quickly. He gives up the rook. I take, he takes, and this is checkmate very quickly. So, but also if he moves into here and then says, okay, I'll take your bishop, the same thing, he gives up the rook, and this is checkmate very quickly. So it's actually very easily to lose, even though black is clearly winning. So I just need to be somewhat accurate. So he takes here with the bishop, which I thought it really helps me open his position. He pushes the pawn to obviously trying to remove this pawn, this defense, and then I will be in big trouble. Here I move the rook with the threatening check, In hindsight, I should have moved the queen either here or here because that obviously threatens checkmate. But anyway, that's what I do. I am up in material. I've got a bishop for a pawn, and I think my position is better. So the only risk is obviously he's quite on top of my king, so he can checkmate me if I make a mistake. So I wanted to force exchange of queens, and that's what I do. I found that this move was quite good. Oh, that's not what he does, because here I'm forcing the exchange of queens. If he decided to not take my queen, then I go into here and then I checkmate. So he has to take, which that's what he does in the game. So go and take, and here I'm much more relaxed and say, okay, fine. So he doesn't have a big attack in my king anymore, and I'm up in material. This pawn is hanging, this pawn is weak, this pawn is weak, so I just need to start collecting all the pawns and hopefully win. But I've lost so many games when I was winning this position and just relax and I give it away. So but in this game I will try to not give it away. So he goes and defends. I attack this pawn as well. I was happy with that because I was just gonna take this pawn. He takes, so I start getting some of his pawns. He obviously doesn't want to exchange. I move my rook into g7. He tries to attack that pawn. I defend it. He takes, which I think is fine. Yes, he has a pass pawn now, but he's just too slow. So here my bishop is defended by tactics. He cannot take because then I just do checkmate because this square and and all these squares will be defended. So he obviously doesn't take the bishop because he sees that. Then I put my bishop, and now this is looking bad if I manage to push this, which I'm going to manage to push in a minute. This is looking like this pass pawn is going to be difficult for him to stop. He goes and potentially try to remove my bishop. I give a check. Here I do what my plan was, which is trying to get a queen from that pawn. He attacks it, which I don't think does much. Here I want to exchange, so he gave me a check, and I obviously didn't want to repeat and get a draw, so I said fine, I am going to leave my rook into here, and I'm going to try to force the exchange of rooks in another way, which is in here. If he moves now, which he does, and then now he's in big trouble because that is going to become a queen any minute. So he takes, I take, he takes, and become a queen. And here my opponent resigns. So, and this is how I got to the 1500s in chess.com. Again, a very aggressive game, but one that I'm pretty proud, and I just think in general is very interesting. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy this game. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and yeah, that's all for now, and catch you soon.